This is unfortunate, but it's the truth. Being too nice to someone on a date can seriously cost you. And I'm not talking about picking up the check or an expensive dinner. This goes for everyone, too. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you're safe. After months of trying online dating, I finally matched with someone that I felt comfortable meeting in person. Her name was Samantha, or just Sam. We'd been talking on the phone for weeks, and I really liked her, so I was ready to take it to the next step. At first, I suggested we meet up somewhere casual, like a bar, since we both drank. Sam had a different idea. I previously told her that I lived alone, so she thought it would be a good idea if we had our date at my place. I was surprised. I could hardly believe she was comfortable being alone in the apartment of a man she'd never met. But she assured me that we had built up a level of trust that made it fine. In the back of my mind, though, it put up a red flag. Why wouldn't she want to meet somewhere public in case I turned out to be a creep? Why come straight to my place? Was she one of those girls that would never leave once she got in my bed? However, it was a small level of concern, and I wanted to be nice, so I invited her over for drinks. I said I'd order some food, and we could watch whatever she wanted. She said that sounded wonderful. That night, she came over around 7 p.m. She seemed modestly dressed at first, until I took her jacket at the door and saw the clothing underneath was quite revealing. I complimented her, but I thought it was a bit much for a first date. Despite that, I poured some wine and we started talking in the kitchen. Before long, we were nearly through the first bottle of wine, and Sam was already asking if I had anything stronger. I made sure to order our food before we switched to the hard liquor, not wanting to drink too much on an empty stomach. While we waited for the food, we moved to the couch. Despite offering her the pick of any show or movie she wanted, she let me decide. Flipping through all the options was a nice distraction, as Sam had become a bit overbearing, sitting a little too close, never breaking eye contact, and frequently touching my shoulder. Things went on awkwardly like this for a while. The food arrived and we ate while the TV played in the background, but as soon as dinner was over, Sam made a move on me. It was very surprising, and honestly hard to resist, but I politely declined, saying I wanted to take things slow. Sam was visibly disappointed, and immediately pivoted to taking more shots. I went along with it, not wanting to shut her down twice in a row, though I was already a bit more drunk than I wanted to be. After another shot, Sam suddenly came up with another surprising idea. She suggested we both make each other a completely random drink with whatever we can find in the kitchen, but the other person has to go into a different room while it's being made, and no matter how bad it is, we both have to drink the whole thing. All my life, I've heard women telling each other to watch closely whenever a man makes them a drink, yet Sam had blind trust in me. I even made a crude joke that I could easily slip her something if I wanted to, but she laughed out loud, reminding me she had every opportunity to do the same. I laughed with her at the thought of that. So, we began. With me going first, Sam went to the bathroom while I threw together an abominable concoction of gin, Coke Zero, and bitters over ice. She absolutely hated it, but her reaction was hilarious. Then I went to the bathroom and waited for her to serve me her revenge. When I tried the drink she made, I almost gagged. There was such an awful taste that I could not place. Sam said it had sweet vermouth, salt, coffee liqueur, and white rum, all at room temperature. I regretted ever having a mixology phase and stocking my kitchen with so many ingredients. Since both drinks were so bad, we both agreed to just chug them. It was one of the most unpleasant experiences of my life, but I figured we were bonding over it. I was left with a bitter aftertaste in my mouth, still unsure which component of the drink introduced it. After a few minutes, I had a guess. Rapidly, my level of perceived drunkenness skyrocketed. My motor function was shot, my vision was fading, and I needed to lie down immediately. With my last remaining competence, I made Sam leave. She protested, saying she would stay and take care of me. But I basically pushed her out the door, telling her she did not want to see me in the state I was about to be in. Once Sam was gone, I rushed into the bathroom and forced myself to throw up. It's not something I'm good at, so it took me a while, and I didn't produce much, but I knew I needed to get whatever alcohol out of me that I could. By the time I called it quits, though, I started to doubt if alcohol was all that had done me in. I drank too much, but it never made me feel this way, this heaviness. I could barely crawl across the floor and climb into my bed. All I wanted to do was pass out, but I couldn't sleep. I had this deep primal fear that I was about to stop breathing, so I had to focus on it. Breathe in, breathe out. Soon, I realized I could no longer move the rest of my body. My eyes were stuck open, staring at the ceiling. I don't know how much time passed in that state, but at some point, someone re-entered the apartment. Sam. I was too messed up to remember to lock the door, and she just let herself back in. As she walked into my room, I used all my strength to reach out to beg for help. I think my arm moved, though I'm pretty sure the sound I made was pretty incomprehensible. She came over to the bed, but she didn't look concerned. Her expression was empty, with just a trace of anger. This wasn't the person I knew. This was some hollow thing staring at me, and they were not there to help. I heard her tell me she could kill me if she wanted to. Putting the edge of the small pocket knife up to my eye, she grazed my cheek with the pointed end, stopping at my throat. I tried to grab it, hit her, do something, but I couldn't. Whatever she had done to me, she had rendered me defenseless. She was right, too. She could have easily slit my throat and let me bleed out. I saw it in her eyes that she was thinking about it. She wanted to. Yet, for whatever reason, she put the knife away and walked away out of my view, not saying a word. I didn't know if she would come back. Part of me still hoped she would have a change of heart and help me, but I never saw her again. From then, I faded in and out of consciousness for a long time. It wasn't until morning that I could move again. When I got out of bed, my apartment was ransacked. I didn't hear or see any of it happening, but everything was gone. On top of losing thousands of dollars to the robbery and having my drink laced, what stung the most in the moment was knowing that this was the point. The entire time Sam and I were talking, throughout the whole evening we spent together, she never wanted me. Whether she succeeded in seducing me or had to go to plan B like she did to incapacitate me, the plan was never to date me. The plan was always to rob me. That morning, I called the police, but by then, Sam had already disappeared like a ghost. Her name, profile, job, everything she had told me about herself was a lie. All they had was a physical description, and since she definitely left town, it was useless. Sam still hasn't been found, and at this point, I'm resigned to the fact that I will never receive closure or justice for what she did to me.